Welcome back again to another episode from Let's Understand Mathematics. And today we'll be continuing our lecture from the laws of exponents. We're going to look at another law of exponent. And if you haven't already seen my other ones about exponents, I leave all the videos in the description below that I've done thus far, so you guys can check them out as well. So in this video, we'll be looking at power of fraction. So fraction being raised to a power. So without further ado, let's get to the lecture. So power of fraction. So remember in the first introduction video, I talked to you guys about the definition of exponent. What does that mean? So an exponent is basically, it indicates how many times you are multiplying the base by itself. Okay, so here we are multiplying the fraction by itself how many times, as indicated by the x value, which represents our exponent. So in that case, remember in my multiplying fractions video, I showed you how to multiply fractions. So when you're multiplying fractions, what are you doing? You are multiplying the numerators separately first. Then you are multiplying your denominators separately. 1 times 1, 1, that's our numerator. You're multiplying your denominators separately. So 3 times 3, 9. 1 times 1 over 3 times 1, 9. And then you simplify. So in this case, it's already simplified for you. So if that's what you're doing, that's what you're doing for multiplying fractions, so think about that in exponents. So you have a fraction and you're raising it to the power of 2. Okay, so think about it. 1 over 3 to the power of 2. Basically, if you want me to write it out, you're multiplying 1/3 by 2 times. So if you notice that here, when you're multiplying the numerators separately and you're multiplying the denominators separately. So the denominators will stay the same. So you're multiplying the denominators. And so you're basically, however many times as indicated by the exponent, you're basically multiplying the denominators by itself, however many times, as I said, as indicated by our exponent. In this case, it's 2, but if it was 3, you're multiplying your denominator by itself 3 times. See that here? For our numerators, that same thing applies. We're multiplying our numerator of 1 by 2. In this case, if it was 3, we'll multiply our numerator by 3. So power of a fraction. So basically, when we are taking the power of a fraction, we can take the powers of, we can raise our numerator to the power of that exponent, as well as our denominator to that power, as well as our denominator. So we can raise our denominator to the power of the exponent individually. In this case, since we're multiplying the numerators separately and the denominators separately, and when we're multiplying fractions. So I'll show you another example, so what I just said here makes sense. Let's choose something. So 1 over 2. So we have A over B, we have A1 and 2. To the power, let's cubed, so to the raised to the power of 3. So x equals 3 in this situation. So what is that in plain terms? What is that? Half times half times half. Okay, so if so basically when we're multiplying here, 1 by itself 3 times. So wouldn't that 1 by itself 3 times, wouldn't that just be the same thing as taking 1 to the power of 3? See, the 3 here now goes to our numerator. So 1 to the power of 3 is same thing as what we're doing when we're multiplying fractions by itself. The numerator is by itself. Now look at the denominator. 2 times 2 times 2. So let me just solve it for you guys here. 1 times 1, yeah, 1. 2 times 2, 4. 4 times 2, 8. 1 over 8. So 8 is also, if you have not noticed, is also the result of 2 to the power of 3. And here, if you look here, we're multiplying the base of 2 by itself 3 times. The denominator separately. So notice how that 3 also applies here. So we are basically, although the fraction, its entire fraction is being raised to the power of 3, in this case, since we're multiplying fractions, and based on our knowledge of multiplying fractions, see how basically you're just taking the numerator, you're raising the numerator to that power of the exponent separately, and then you are raising your denominator to the power separately, and then you get your final result, which is just one number. So in this case, 1 to the power of 3 gives you 1, and then 2 to the power of 3 gives you 8. And if you notice that, that's the answer we get here. So it's concluded, we can conclude that this rule works, and this is the laws of exponent, or this is the law that we would use when we're raising a fraction, when a fraction is being raised to a power. And that concludes this lecture. Thank you very much for watching. We will see each other in the next video. Thank you.